Hello and welcome to the Lorna Marie Fitness Podcast, the show where we talk all things fitness, health, mindset and lifestyle to help you become fitter, healthier and happier. I help busy people who lack time, motivation and self-belief to look and feel great again. If you want to work with me, head over to lornamariefitness.co.uk, but for now, enjoy this episode. Testing. I've been standing here saying testing about a million times to try and get the microphone working. Oh my goodness. Hey squad. Hi. Now, did you get my email this morning about Laura's hydration challenge? That is starting on Monday. I mean, if you want to start it now, you can, but it's officially starting on Monday. It's for all squaddies. We're all going to get involved, and Will is creating an area on the journal over the weekend. So he's going to do it this weekend. It's not there yet, where you'll be able to tick if you've had your 2.5 litres each day. The reason Laura wanted to do this is because, let's face it, we've all got a lot of parties, a lot of social events going on, and we're probably not going to keep ourselves as hydrated as we should. So Laura thought it would be a great idea, and I think it's brilliant. And for everybody who does it, you get a special achievement. Woo. So you'll have an achievement that lands in your very own achievements area. How great is that? See, we are not just fitness classes. We are so much more than that, team. And actually, as a side note, I would really love to know, because it helps me know what to focus on. And also, you know, when we're recruiting new squaddies, what to tell them about us. You know, sometimes when you're so in something, like I'm so involved in the squad, it's literally part of me, it's part of my life, as I really hope it is yours as well. I have to I know it's amazing. I love it. But I'm like, okay, what is so good? Why us? What makes us so different? So it actually really helped me if you could let me know why us. Like, why do you choose to do Lorna Marie Fitness, Lorna's online squad, as opposed to going to the leisure centre or going to the gym or doing Joe Wicks or Les Mills on demand or whatever? You know, why us? I mean, I wouldn't want to do any of those things. I'm not going to lie. I remember going back to the gyms, you know, in that weird sort of time when we opened back up again. And it was like this emptiness feeling as opposed to what we have at the squad. And just not as exciting, not as exciting at all. Just standing in front of the room, everyone doing a class and then bye, that's it, done. It's like, there's no heart to it, if you see what I mean. And I feel like doing that kind of thing would be really difficult to stay motivated. And actually driving, this is for me anyway, I can only speak from what I think of my experience, but driving to a gym, doing a class, then either getting ready there or getting ready when I come back, and then coming home. By the time I've done all that, I'm looking at 3 hours to do one workout. Like, if I wanted to, I could have done about 6 online workouts. I'm a really busy person, need that time efficiency, but also I just really love doing it with everybody and being part of a community, like whether that's live or on demand. That's my thoughts. Anyway, I don't want to plant thoughts in your heads. Please tell me in the comments what you think, because I would really love to know. And, you know, maybe it is the challenges that we do. Maybe it is the fact that we all stay accountable. Maybe it's the friendliness. Maybe it's the non-judgmental side of things. I don't know. Anyway, moving on to questions. I am blabbing. I will also see some of you on Sunday at the Christmas social. I know there are 3 people who can't make it. So if you want to come, it is a bottomless brunch in town. It is at Rev's Corner House, not Hockley, because in the monthly updates, I said, apparently, Corner House Hockley, or the other way around, Corner House. It's at the Corner House, everyone. If you haven't watched the December updates, please do go and watch those, because that tells you everything we've been working on behind the scenes in November, what's coming up for December and beyond. So it's really important, and it's quite interesting, I think. I like to take you along for the journey. I want you to be part of this. It's not just me, Will and Laura, it's you guys as well. So that is something to go and watch. 9th of December is the food bank drive as well. And the class we're going to do for that is going to be a Christmas mashup. 9:30 to 10:15, Christmas mashup. Bring your family, bring your friends in exchange for a bit of food for the food bank. So we're going to the Arnold Food Bank, this one, and the scouts are coming along to come and help us, pack everything all together. I'm going to put Will in that room with the scouts, and you'll be with me doing a workout. Who's coming? Let me know in the comments also if you are coming. That would be great to know. Right, I am getting the questions up. So we will start with, And Nicola, I have seen your message. You messaged me just we're going live. I've seen it. We will reply to it. And in fact, why don't we could start there, couldn't we? So, question 1. Hi Lorna. Okay. What do you do when you feel rotten, have a cold, achy muscles, etc.? Do you just wait it out, or do you try and exercise where you can? Came to Stronger this morning and just used light hand weights, not my normal barbell. Wondering if I should have sat it out today and done a Pilates class or similar. I don't want to get out of the routine of exercise by taking sick days from exercising. Now, when you're ill, it really depends on how bad you feel. The best thing you can do is allow your body rest and time to recover. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to have to sit down or I'm going to have to not do any exercise, depending on how you feel. So if you just feel like a bit bunged, a little bit coldy, a little bit achy, but you're okay, you're all right in general, you did the exact right thing just by dropping the intensity. And like you said, you want to keep some kind of routine going with your fitness. There's nothing to say that if you're ill, you have to completely stop. What you do need to do is make sure that you are giving your body adequate rest and food to recover. So you want to be nourishing your body, you want to be hydrating and getting rest. So prioritizing those things. And when you think about when you work out, you're expending energy, you're expending fuel. Now that energy could have been used to potentially make you better and make you feel better. So if you are working out and you are expending energy doing workouts, just make sure that you are refueling your body adequately. You're giving your body what it needs. It's got adequate rest. It's got adequate hydration. Speaking personally, if I'm not well, I mean, I'm a bad example really because it is part of it's my job. I need to turn up. I need to show up. Unless I'm really ill, then, then I'll have to cancel. But what I do, which I don't, touch wood, I can't remember doing that. Not in a very long time anyway. But what I do is I drop the intensity. I will allow myself a little bit more rest in between and just prioritize things that I spoke about. But it depends. It depends on how you feel. There's no set rule for that kind of thing. If they say, don't they, like if it's above the neck, then you're okay. If it's below rest, you could use that as a bit of a rule. If it's just a case of feeling a little bit bunged up, but you're all right, just drop the intensity and yeah, just keep going. Don't take that as medical advice. That is not medical advice. Disclaimer. Okay, I hope it's helpful though. Next question. I was going to say question number 1. Question number 2. Let's go from the bottom up. Why not? I've just compared olive oil and virgin coconut oil for cooking. I thought olive oil has to be better for me because as per 100 ml, it's got 91.4 grams of fat, 12.8 grams saturated, but it has more unsaturated fats, mono 70.4 and poly 8.2. Coconut oil per 100 grams is 100 grams of fat, 87 grams which is saturated, no unsaturated. What is it about coconut oil saturated fats that make them good? Okay. Now, nothing is bad. I don't like using labels as good and bad because in reality, everything in moderation, right? The thing with unsaturated fats is they can increase your blood cholesterol, so your LDLs, which can be harmful for your health and for your cardiovascular health if eaten in excess. So that's what you do need to remember. And the recommended amount of saturated fat for women in the UK, or that from the British Nutrition Foundation anyway, that upper limit, if you like, is around about 20 grams per day of saturated fats. And overall about 70 grams of fat. Now, it depends on you as an individual as well. And it depends on your size, your metabolism, so many different things, but you can use that as sort of a recommendation if you like. Now, coconut oil is deemed as saturated fat, so it should be moderated in the diet. It doesn't mean that you can't have it. And actually, if you really enjoy the taste of it and you really like it and you like cooking with it, great. But just remember, it is classed as a saturated fat and something that you would want to minimize. The reason it got loads of really good press, and actually the research is still evolving around this. Now, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian, but I do know a lot about food and a lot about that side of things. Now, it's because it's mainly made up of medium chain acids, which is seen as, not like the LDL, bad cholesterol acids, and lauric acid as well, which are seen to have benefits with your health. But as a whole, it is still classed as a saturated fat and something that should be moderated in your diet. So yeah, have it if you like it, but just remember that, at the moment, the guidelines are the unsaturated fats are the ones that you want to prioritize over saturated fats, but that doesn't mean that you can't have saturated fats. Does that answer the question? I feel like I answered that a little bit like a politician. There's no right or wrong. It really is everything in moderation. If you like coconut oil, cook with coconut oil, but just remember, have those little recommended amounts in your mind that, okay, on a daily basis, I don't want to be going over 20 grams of saturated fat. By the way, coconut oil is saturated fat. But that is why it was deemed and got very, very popular. I feel like it was about 10 years ago when everyone was talking about coconut oil this, coconut oil that, how you should cook with coconut oil is going to help you lose weight and all this rubbish. Yeah, I mean, being in calorie deficit will help you lose weight. That is the only thing really. But if you like it, and it's been seen to have some benefits. Okay, next question. What do you do if you have a weaker side or a tighter side? I've been reading lots of conflicting things saying more reps on that side or do isolated exercises. Yeah, either or really. Now, this is definitely more of a physio type question, but I can tell you based on my own experience and my own knowledge. It depends what the tightness is caused by, and is that tightness causing you problems? Like if that tightness is causing you problems, is causing you issues in your day-to-day, then yeah, it needs to be addressed. Where some people will have like slight muscle imbalances in their body, and it's the way that their makeup is. They're kind of made up. And when they start to try and correct them, the thing that I'm thinking of in my mind at the moment is scoliosis. So I have slight scoliosis, which is like a slight twist in my spine. So when I do squats, I have one foot slightly in front of the other. I will have some natural muscle imbalances there, right? If I try and fight against that, I'm literally fighting against the makeup of my body, which isn't always necessarily a good thing, because then I could be causing myself problems in other areas. So to an extent, I need to be mindful about how I'm holding myself. I don't want to exaggerate muscle imbalances, but to an extent for my body, for example, a little bit of that is okay and a little bit of it is natural. But this doesn't mean that that's okay for everyone. And like I said, it depends, is it causing you a problem? So I would be tempted to go and see a physio about this. But yeah, some people do say, okay, fine, do more repetitions on your weaker side to build that up. Other people do say, yeah, isolated exercises on that side. I would be looking at where do I need to loosen up and where do I need to strengthen my body? That's what I'd be looking at. So, for example, if you have really, really tight hips, it can cause you really bad back pain because it's constantly pulling on your back muscles, causing you a weakness in your back and a tightness in your hips. So what would I do there? I'm going to try and work on loosening my hips and work on strengthening my back. Obviously, that's kind of similar muscle groups. That's not one side and another side. Well, it kind of is, isn't it, really? You could think like that. Okay, which side is tight? Which side is weak? What do I need to do to balance that out? That is what I would do. And then if you are really unsure, then I would definitely go and speak to a physio. But most importantly, listening to your body, making sure you are getting the variety in your exercises and making sure that you are working mobility and strength at the same time. I hope that's useful. I don't think I had anything more to add on that one. Yeah, just modifying it where you need to, really. Yeah, that's all on that one. I hope that's useful. One thing that I do as well is I try and practice mindful movement. So when I am moving and I have got those slight muscle imbalances, I'm just being really mindful about what I'm doing with my body. So thinking about the technique, and when I can, just when I'm doing my own workouts, looking at myself in the mirror and just checking that I'm not, exaggerating any of that. How am I moving? Looking at my position, looking at my form. So really being really, really mindful, particularly if you're working on a weaker side, be very, very mindful about how you're doing that. And if you wanted to do a couple more repetitions on that side, then yeah, you've got to find what works for you. Next question. Is it better to do fewer workouts and work at your full capacity or close to it, or do more that are lesser in intensity to your full capacity? Okay, so fewer workouts as in, okay, I'm going to do 3 workouts a week and I'm going to absolutely smash them, or I'm going to do 5 workouts Monday to Friday and I'm going to go like a little bit more mediocre sort of effort in them. Like, what's better? What's better depends on your goals and your time and your routine. The best workout you can do is the one that you will do and the one that you want to do. That is the best workout ever. And also the second best workout, and equally the best, is the one that you can fit in. Like, where can you fit it into your routine? If actually you can only fit in 3 workouts a week and you just want to absolutely blast them out and you feel really good doing that and you like doing that, great, do it. If you prefer, and I'm definitely more of this type, getting into a routine every single day. So, for example, our 6:30 classes and our 9:30 classes, every single day I will be there. I build it into my daily routine to make sure that I'm there and make sure it gets done. You might want to do that. So, for example, in the mornings, we do 20 minutes. I mean, they vary in intensity. So some days, like this morning, for example, hit with weights, we really did push it. And then I change it up so that we've got that variety in there. So then you'll have holistic, you'll work your core, and then we'll have days where we're doing cardio, more strength-based, all at that time. So find what routine works best for you. Find what you enjoy and something that you're going to be able to stick to. Bearing in mind the recommended exercise hours, you've got 75 of vigorous exercise, 75 minutes of vigorous over the week. So bear that in mind, that's recommended. Or 150 of moderate intensity exercise. And that can include things like a brisk walk as well, with the moderate side. So find what works for you. And if you find that you're like, oh, do you know what, I'm going to do 3 HIIT workouts a week, I'm going to absolutely blast it on those workouts. See how your body responds to doing that as well. If you're finding that you're getting niggles or injuries or you're getting burnt out, you may need to make adjustments. So listening to your body and taking a real pragmatic approach to it. And this doesn't mean that it's going to be something that you do forever. Like, this might work for you right now in your period of life in this chapter. And maybe, in a few months' time, your schedule changes and you need to adapt. So just adapt and do what works for you. Make sure you enjoy it. And variety is the spice of life, everybody. Make sure you get variety of your exercises in, for sure, for sure. One thing that I would say is a lot of people who do just focus on just high intensity and don't do, say, any of the mobility stuff like yoga or Pilates, one day it may turn around and bite you in the bum. You're going to be so tight in so many areas, and you don't want to be the person that struggles to get down and touch the floor because your muscles are so tight. No one wants to be that person. And I'm not saying you don't practice in mobility stuff in high intensity things, you do and you might, but I would be prioritizing keeping, mobile. Let's just keep the muscles nice and flexible and mobile and loose as well. And that's probably the wrong terminology, but you know what I'm trying to get at, you know what I'm trying to say there. Can exercise raise your cortisol level negatively? Now, cortisol is a hormone in response to stress. So when you're stressed, your adrenal glands release cortisol. And when you exercise, you naturally release cortisol. So a little bit is absolutely fine. It's a stress response. Now, if you overtrain, so if you're constantly overtrained and you're not giving your body enough rest, you can push your body into chronic stress. And then it can be difficult to reduce the cortisol levels again. So that is where exercise could negatively impact your cortisol levels. If you are overtraining and you're pushing it and you're stressed and you're not getting adequate recovery, you're just in this chronic stress state all the time, yeah, that's where it could. But generally, as a general rule, people who exercise are better able to regulate their cortisol levels. So exercise is a great thing for cortisol and being able to regulate your cortisol levels. Is it true that fat turns into muscle and muscle turns into fat? Absolutely not true. That is false. Muscle tissue and fat tissue are totally different. So fat tissue, adipose tissue is not the same as muscle tissue. That is like trying to compare, I don't know, what are two things that are different? Wood and aluminium. Brownie and banana. I don't know if that's a good comparison, but they are totally different. If you're wanting to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, that is possible. You want to be training, you want to be doing strength exercises, eating adequate protein, getting enough rest, and having enough water to encourage that muscle growth, and making sure that you put yourself in a slight calorie deficit to reduce your fat. Notice I said slight, because anyone that goes on an all or nothing, right, I'm on a diet, I'm going to eat 1,200 calories a day, can usually do it for a few days and they crash and burn, end up putting it all back on and more, right? Yeah, so everything in moderation and any changes need to be slight. But yeah, you can't switch the different types of tissue over. It doesn't work like that. But if you wanted to gain muscle and lose fat, you can do that at the same time. Is it true that you should eat protein within half an hour of your strength workout? Now, this is an interesting one. So this is what everyone used to think. This is what was thought in the past, that once you do a strength training exercise, so say if you did stronger or something like that, or you went to lift some weights, that you had half an hour and you need to get a protein shake in. So you'd see people leaving the gym like down their protein shakes. Now, it's since been shown that this anabolic window, or this protein window, if you like, is actually much greater than half an hour. It's about, depending on what you read, it's roughly about 4 to 6 hours. And if you've had some protein before your workout, the window is actually slightly wider, it's slightly longer. So the most important takeaway here is to make sure, and this is why I keep banging on about it, that you're having protein at every meal. You've got those protein windows, breakfast, lunch, dinner, to give your body enough protein to repair your muscles, to keep that nice lean muscle tone look that we're all after, and to look after our bodies, to look after our bones. You know, muscle is going to help you as well protect your bones. It's going to help you just live a better quality life, and it will keep your metabolism higher too. So that is why we want to prioritize muscle. So yeah, the half an hour window is not true. It is false. It's much greater than that. So just make sure, like I said, you're having enough protein over the day. 2 questions left, gang. These questions are brilliant, by the way. Rest days. I know I should incorporate rest days for repair, but if you're incorporating a good mix of strength, cardio, and holistic classes, would a yoga class count as a rest from a strength, or strength count as a rest from cardio, etc., or should a rest day be a rest from everything? Hope that makes sense. It does make sense. And it is a slightly annoying answer, but it is true that it depends. It depends on your body and how your body is responding. I wouldn't say that a strength workout is a rest from a cardio workout and vice versa, but what I would go as far as saying is you can do a gentle yoga class as a rest day from either or. And what some people do is when they're doing like back-to-back strength training days, one day they might work a certain type of muscle groups. It might work like more lower body, so you might do body conditioning with our booty band doing your lower body, and the next day you might do upper body strength, or say that upper body and yoga class that we did yesterday, something like that. We can do that, but I wouldn't call that a rest. Like that's not really a rest. That's just kind of resting that muscle group, really. but it depends on how your body's responding. You know, there are risks of overtraining, and I'd be questioning, okay, why do you want to do it like that as well? Is it a time thing? Is it a time factor? Because ideally, you'd want to go into your workouts feeling fresh. Give it what you've got. Think about good quality technique on everything that you're doing, and then come away thinking, yeah, that was a great workout. Or go into your workout with a purpose, like when we're doing stronger, right? The purpose is I'm going to work to strengthen my whole body today. When you go and do your Pilates class, the purpose is I am going to be working my core today, and just go and fulfill that purpose, but making sure that you're feeling ready to go into that. So that's why we need to have rest days, to allow your body to repair, for your muscles to repair, so that you can then go into your workout feeling good, feeling fresh, and able to put in a good input, good quality input, so you get a good quality output out of that workout, making the most of it. Now, of course, some days we will feel tired, and that's all right. And I'm not, we all know the difference between a general, I can't be bothered, I'm feeling a bit tired, versus I've had really bad muscle ache for a while, I'm not sleeping very well, I've been training a lot recently. We all know the difference. If you find that you're starting to get niggles, or you find that you're not sleeping well at night and you've been training quite a lot recently, or if you find that you just have this insatiable hunger, so overtraining and doing a lot of exercise is linked to higher hunger levels, then it might be worthwhile having a rest day where you go on a gentle walk, or if you do something, it is a very light yoga. I would be, so it's my advice would be, this is what I would do. Now, obviously it depends on the person, really does, and everyone's different. I have minimum 1 day a week where all I will do is just go on a walk. I don't even do like any yoga or any stretching. Arguably, that would maybe help me if I did like a light yoga or stretch. But I find just mobilizing my muscles, just going out on a walk and just having a day off, not just makes my body feel prepared, but it also makes me feel excited about going back to my workouts as well. Just having that 1 day off. So keeping my routine. So for example, I don't always do it like this, but like Monday to Saturday, I'll be doing my workouts, making sure I get variety through the week. And then Sunday, I have a rest day. Monday, I feel fresh, I feel ready to get back on it, and I feel excited to get back on it as well. I would have minimum of 1. It may be 2. It depends on you know, what you're used to, what your routine is, and how much you're doing on those days, and how intense those sessions are as well. You know, if you train hard, you want to rest hard as well. So yes and no is the answer to that question. And it might change on the time of the month. It might change depending on, you know, your chapter of life, what you've got going on. So yeah, see how you feel. I think this is the last question, gang. I've just finished doing yoga and actually is going to drop you this question. My left hip always hurts when the left leg is at the back in a mermaid stretch. It also clicks really badly in Pilates on the left leg when I have to lift the straight leg off the floor going up, only on the left one. Any suggestions? Now this is quite similar to the question earlier, you know, with muscle imbalances and things like that. Again, this is something that a physio would be able to answer, a medical professional, maybe an osteopath, not something that I could answer really. My suggestion would be, it sounds like you've got some tightness in there, and if anything hurts, don't do it. Like anything that does not hurt, please don't force your body into positions your body does not want to get into. That is not what we want to do. You could modify the exercise, and remember, when you're in the comfort of your own home, doing these workouts at home, you can modify. That's okay. There's going to be no one there looking like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Make the workout your own. So modify if it hurts. Don't do it if it hurts. And I would be thinking about, maybe it sounds like you've got some tightness and some muscle imbalances in your hips. I'd be thinking about working to strengthen the hip area and the muscles, you know, around that area as well. And also release them. So things that you want to focus on for releasing and building strength in those areas. I would be looking at stronger. I would be looking at the bodycon one, the booty band one. And I would be looking at Pilates and maybe yoga. If you type into on demand hips, there's some nice relaxing ones for your hips. Again, if anything hurts, don't do it. But if it is something that is really bothering you, and it sounds like if it is painful, then it is, yeah, just go and speak to someone, because you don't need to feel in pain or anything, ever. Now I'm just going to reload to see if anyone has popped any questions up while I've been chatting. And if you do think of any questions or anything from what I said, let me know. And as always, I'd really like to know if these are useful, so please let me know if they are useful. I put a little poll up last week asking how often you want the Q&A, if you want it on a monthly or a weekly, and the vast majority said weekly, so hopefully that means that they are really useful and you do get a lot from them. But I hope I've answered those. I hope I've answered those questions to the best of my ability anyway. And let me know the answer to the questions I asked you at the beginning of this live. And if you've just joined this live right now, you need to rewind when I click finish. Anyway, have a great day. I will see you tomorrow at either 6:30 or 9:30 or online team. See you later, Squaddies. Bye.